Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to the Cool Kids Lunch Table Podcast with PJ and Mike. Now find yourself a seat at their table.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Cool Kids Lunch Table Podcast with PJ and Mike. I'm PJ.
And I'm Mike.
And today is a special episode. It's our yearly award show that we like to have. It's our second annual Golden Lunchbox and Brown Paper Bag Awards.
Woo!
And of course, you cannot have an award show without some special presenters. And so we've brought back a crowd favorite. Handsome Alex is here.
Hey, everyone.
Welcome back to the table, Handsome Alex. We're happy that you're able to join us for our award ceremony.
Thanks for having me back.
So we were supposed to have another special guest with us today to help present. He's not here. We're going to take this time to shit on him for a minute.
Yeah, I know.
We were supposed to have Marco. You might remember Marco from our 90s Toys and Godzilla episodes that we've done in the past. But Marco came down with the itis and did not show up today. He couldn't make it. And do we think he's full of shit, Alex?
I just think he's scared. He doesn't like to be, talking on podcasts and stuff like that. He's afraid how he comes off, and he chickened out.
I think he chickened out as well.
He chickened out.
I think he's a chicken. So for those of you who don't remember from last year, we'll go over what the award ceremony is. Basically, we look at the last 12 months, which was the year of 2024, and we give out awards for things that were good and things that were bad. If things are good, you get a golden lunchbox. If things are bad, you get a brown paper bag.
Yep. And folks, this can be anything. It doesn't have to be like something like a bet. We can do best movie, but like last year I did like best public bathroom. I said it was Kohl's. Kohl's has amazing bathrooms. So the categories can be anything. So it's kind of like the Oscars meets the Razzies meets Howard Stern. It's just basically awards for anything, good and bad. So, but we're going to start the show with actually our golden lunch boxes, and usually we end it off with our brown paper bags. That's where it gets really
That's where it's
juicy.
fun, yes.
Right. So, guys, is it right if I start off?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so I think for 2024, I think I'm giving the golden lunchbox to two special memes. One of them is from Deadpool versus Wolverine. It's when Gambit said, "Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself."
Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
You just let everyone know what happened here today. Like, that took on like a life of its own. Those memes were hilarious. I mean, I think folks at home, if you haven't listened to probably one of our most controversial, it is our most controversial episode, our review for Deadpool versus Wolverine, but that meme was hilarious, and it took the country by storm.
My favorite was the one where it was a buffet. And then he's in front of the buffet looking at the food and about to make a name for myself. Yeah. That was my favorite of all. But there were so many good ones.
Yeah, I mean, man, it was
I forgot about that one. That's a good one, too, yeah.
And this one, I don't know if it's, like, old and it's just kind of resurfaced, but it's with Fergie. If you can recall, it's, like, back in, like, I did a little research. So back in 2008, she was, like, in a kind of morning show, like the Today Show. And she was, I think the song she was singing was Barracuda by, was it Heart, right?
Yeah.
I think it was she was doing a cover. Anyway, during the middle of the song, she's just kind of like, just riffing off, and she does a cartwheel, and she goes like, she does like 4 in a row of cartwheels, and while she's doing the cartwheel, she says like, she just croons like, So, like, I've seen so many memes of, like, either people impersonating it, women who are able to actually do a cartwheel and do that thing, and, they're just fucking great, man. I just think they're hilarious. So, I'm giving the golden lunchbox to those two memes. They're so funny. I'm sure if you search them now, they'll come up now more frequently on your algorithm, but they are really funny. So, but yeah, those are my golden lunchbox for this year. Yeah.
All right. I have a Golden Lunchbox Award for my favorite. I don't know if public servant is the right word because he's not really an employee of the state.
Yes.
But he is a delivery driver for Federal Express. I don't have his name, unfortunately. I cannot remember what it is, and the FedEx app did not tell me who delivers my packages. I give this gentleman a Golden Lunchbox Award because, as you know, I have a comic book store and I need to sell things in the comic book store. And my FedEx driver is so good. This guy has my personal cell number. And if he sees that I'm not at the store yet or the door is locked, he will call me. He will ask me where I am. If I'm close enough to the store, he waits for me. If I'm not, he goes to the to the store right next to me, and he drops off the packages there so that I don't miss any deliveries. Nothing is ever damaged. He is always early. He's never late. He's never missed a delivery. If for some reason he comes here and I'm not here and he can't leave the package with somebody else, he will make a second trip back to this store that same day with my packages later on in the day. The best delivery driver in the world, my FedEx driver. And I just felt like, I don't know if he listens. I know he knows we have a show, but I don't know if he listens. If he does, you're getting a golden lunchbox, buddy.
Yeah.
You deserve it.
That's awesome.
Nice. I think people like workers who go out of their way.
Yeah.
It's always appreciated.
Oh, yeah.
Handsome Mouse, what do you got, bro?
You know, I initially went into this, and I told Phil this, that I thought this was all about movies, and then he sent me, he's like, no, it's all about any of this. So it kind of shifted everything,
Sure.
my original notes. But one of the memes that I really loved this year was Jeff the Shark from Marvel Rivals.
Yes, you did mention that.
It has been the biggest joy of my life every time I'm scrolling through Instagram, and I never knew what this character was. I didn't even know what Marvel Rivals were. And then the game came out, this character came out, which surprisingly everyone loved. He has this crazy move, whatever. But his intro is that he jumps in and he sings his, in his little shark voice, sings his own theme song. And it's catchy. And
Right.
it's created this meme, and it's I said it to my girlfriend because we just thought it was funny and cute.
Yeah.
But then people turned and had so much fun with it. It's the old memes were the girls they're both the couples in the bed, and the girls turn one side, and she looks upset, and the other guy's just thinking about whatever, and she's he's probably thinking about other women, and then it cuts to him, and it's just Jeff the Shark, and stuff like that. So we've been having fun and sharing. She's I don't get it. I'm I don't get it either. I've never played the game, but this is something about this that I just find hilarious. So I've that funny little shark that I still know very little about, but now because I like all his stuff, little things come up in my feed now, so I'm learning all about him. But yeah, he's my meme hero of because Instagram lately has been kind of annoying to me. But it's the little things like that bring little.
Well, Jeff the Shark is a Marvel character for anyone listening who was, I think, created or genetically modified shark, modified by MODOK, and then who eventually gets adopted by Kate Bishop, and then he gets bonded with a symbiote. And it's just this cute little cartoon shark that eventually just becomes friends with Deadpool, and they just go on little funny gag adventures. It's a pretty funny character, but he is very popular. People come in the store asking for him constantly for books with
Sounds
him.
like a breakout character.
Yeah, it really is.
For mine, I just my music category. I'm just gonna ramble off. I know we talked about this before, and this person doesn't need any more awards, but I felt she deserves another one. It's actually Taylor Swift.
Oh no! Did you take mine?
I'm sorry, PJ. The reason, and I'm not gonna go too much into it because listen to our 2024 wrap up where PJ and I did a few weeks ago, everything that happened in 2024. But I'm just marveled about how much she just I think she made $1 billion, and it's just it's just something that I don't know. I think even if the Beatles couldn't even do it, if he resurrected George and John, I don't think they could do this. I don't think they could do it. This was something that's I don't know. It's impossible to do. I think you said it best, PJ, on that episode. Where do you go? I think she's gonna still have stadium tours. Obviously.
But where do you go from here? It's just huge.
I mean, it's. Like you said, she's gonna play the. Her next show's gonna be on
Mars. Where is she going? Well, I'm gonna have to jump the gun a second. I was gonna do this at the end, but I was going to introduce the Platinum Lunchbox with Thermos Included award, which was going to be my biggest award of the year for the positives, and it was going to go to Taylor Swift for the Eras tour.
Right.
Wow.
She, it's huge. No one could be this huge.
Yeah.
She's taken on I don't know.
She's a different level, man. It's bigger than the Beatles, honestly. To a different,
bigger than anyone.
Different, to different.
It's
I can't imagine a tour that's going to be bigger than that.
No, me either.
Selling out stadiums, and it wasn't like she was playing for an hour and a half.
No, she was playing hours, 3-4 hours.
Yeah, and
and all this different weather. She didn't cancel anything. It was pouring. She was on stage.
Yeah, so it's truly remarkable.
It really is something special that this girl was able to do all this. And I mean, you don't have to be a big Taylor Swift fan, but I mean, but if you watch the thing, they put it on Disney Plus or whatever it was, and I watched it.
Yeah.
What she put on was not a simple stage show at all. It was I don't even know, a technical everything. There there were all sorts of effects. The stage is moving in and out. There's all this weird, like, just, I don't know. It was crazy. It was a level of its own. I don't think any other, at least not one that's around right now.
Yeah, maybe
there is
not
no
in
one
our
around
lifetime, maybe
that
next
can
century.
rival what she is able to put together. It's and from what I understand, I don't know her, but I understand that she does a lot of this, like the writing of her songs. We know she does on her own.
Right.
But I've read things that, like, she put together the whole plan for this entire tour. Like, this is what she wants to do. This is what she wants the stage to do. These are the effects that she wants played. This is what she wants the stage effects to be. This is how she wants to enter. Like, she planned out all of it.
Right.
And then, gives it off to her team who turns it into a reality. But the fact that she could come up with all these ideas, make them work, it's one thing to come up with these big elaborate ideas, but it's another thing to have these big elaborate ideas actually work out.
Yeah,
like you see it in execution. Like, you see it in movies all the time. People write a movie that they don't have the budget for, and then they can't make that movie, and so all of a sudden, instead of having a giant scene on a planet filled with lava, it takes place in a parking lot of 7-Eleven, because you can't afford this giant planet filled with lava. You know what I mean? Like, they got to scale it all the way back. She came up with these things that cost a fuck ton of money.
Yeah.
And they executed it exactly the way she wants, and she made billions of dollars from it.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Definitely something, like I said, maybe next century someone will top that.
It's going to be real hard to. I don't think there's anyone out. Like, I'm thinking in my head
right now.
Is there anyone big enough to even try and pull that off? And I don't think there is.
No, not right now. Like I said, maybe next century we'll be dead. But next, just to finish off my music awards, I also gave it to the Rolling Stones. I know our fans know I'm a huge fan of them, but like I saw them twice this year. All I can say is, like, they were born to rock. And I guess the other thing, I guess, is more like a somber note. Like, that whole generation of rockers and music, they're all, Tina Turner's gone.
They're all dying off.
Aerosmith, they had to retire. Steven Tyler, his voice blown out. I mean, like, that era is gone. They're kind of like, there's no more Frank Sinatra. He's dead. Dean Martin. That whole, it's sad, but I mean, like, there's still, and it's not like it's some kind of nostalgia act like I feel like Motley Crue, they should not be touring. They're terrible. I mean, Vince Neil, the guy, they're all sober, and he sounds awful. Like, the Stones sound, they're playing like they're 25 years old. It's insane. But I'm just saying, I guess it's like I'm just giving them like a lifetime achievement award. And my other two music awards is during the summer. Right now, tribute bands are really big. They're bigger than ever. Cover bands, tribute bands, and they're called Wild Child. They're a Doors tribute band.
Okay.
They were amazing. Like, I've been wanting to see them for years because they only toured during the summer. I saw them at the Paramount in Long Island, Huntington. Dude, I went with my wife. Dude, I was completely blown away. Like, I felt like the singer, he sounded just like Jim Morrison. It was like almost eerie. And like, they played with so much, and they're all great musicians. Usually tribute bands, you get, everyone plays like top notch, but like it's just, they played, they're just a 4-piece. There's no bass player. The keyboardist does the bass lines, and he has like the vintage kind of Ray Manzarek.
So they're set up just like the Doors.
Yeah. Same. And like, I was just completely blown away. And even if you're not a big like Doors fan, I think you enjoy the show. It's just like, they play all the hits, but they do some rarities. But like, and they played for like 2 hours straight.
Really?
And I was like completely floored.
I might have to check them out if they come around again. I'm a big Doors fan.
Yeah. They come back. He says like, we only toured during the summer, and he's like, their favorite place actually to play is in Long Island. They said you guys are amazing. And my last award is another local award. Is I love how they refurbished Jones Beach Theater. I mean, they did a beautiful job. They have a new entrance.
Yeah.
There's more bathrooms. If anyone, PJ knows, I'm always taking pisses. And they have more bathrooms now. There's more, just like, places to eat in there.
The food is better. The food
Everything.
is way
There's
better.
More. They have food trucks that come in. There's like, I mean, I don't drink wine really, but you can like buy a whole bottle of wine and have it. And they have benches in there. They have a live DJ like in this courtyard that's like before the shows, and playing, and like they did a beautiful job. And they have a new sound system, and it's killer. Usually, if you're familiar with Jones Beach, it's an outdoor theater. It's right by the ocean.
Yeah.
Usually, sometimes it was really windy. I mean, you're by a beach. It would like literally blow the sound. But whatever technology they have now, it's like, man, they really just cut through. Like, you could have a tornado you could hear.
Yeah, I've been to their VIP section.
Yeah, that's new.
Yeah. And I had tickets, VIP tickets, so we were like, all right, let's hang out over here. because you can add them on to like your regular seats, so you could still have like your normal where you want to sit and watch the concert, but then you could go to like the little VIP section where the tents and stuff are. And it's set up real nice. There's a lot of different types of tables. There's food. You can still hear the concert if you're there without watching it because you're in the VIP section. You can still hear it, and it sounds really clear. And then there's this little like this area you could stand off, and you're kind of to the side of the stage. You don't get a great view. That's my only negative with it is you don't get a great view from the VIP section, but. It's set up really, really nice, and it looks nice and clean.
Yes.
I enjoy going to a concert there more than going to a UBS or a Coliseum or the Garden.
I haven't been there in a long time, so I have to check that out.
You should definitely check it out.
It's really nice, man. They did a beautiful job. It's really nice.
They usually do like a metal lineup once a year, once a season, and they usually drag out some good acts. And
this year I saw Megadeth with Mudvayne, and I can't remember the first act before that, but it was fantastic.
Yeah, they usually do like a good metal lineup there because metal bands don't really play around here anywhere else anymore. The Paramount, you'll get a show, but you're not going to go to the Garden and get a metal show anymore. Sometimes in the theater, they might have something, but never like the big stage. So when you go to the beach and they have a metal lineup, they're on the main stage, and if it's like it's really the only place you can do that now, unless it's a legacy band anyway.
So those are my golden lunchbox for the music this year. Right. PJ, what about you? What's on your?
I have a comic book golden lunchbox award, and I'm giving the. It's more than one comic book. It's a line of comic books. It's the Absolute DC books. So DC had a storyline this whole year really about how Amanda Waller stole everyone's powers. It was a whole thing. I'm not gonna go through the entire storyline, and it was just called Absolute Power. When the Absolute Power ended, everyone kind of got different powers and things like that, but there was a special called DC All In, and within that book Darkseid shows up. He merges with, and spoilers alert for anyone who doesn't know this if you're interested in comics, but you should read this, he bonds with the Spectre. So Darkseid has like all the power of the New Gods and the old god, not really the old gods, but like, the wrath of God. And he creates basically a new world, and it's the absolute DC world. It's a new Earth. And it launched with a book called Absolute Batman, which is the first book, which I think was the best-selling comic book in all of 2024. Was Absolute Batman. And it's a retelling of who Batman is, but they take changes. They take some liberties. So in this one, Batman is still Batman, but not both of his parents aren't dead. Only his father is dead. Martha Wayne, spoiler alert, she's still around. And then it kind of takes off from there. And then there's Absolute Superman, and you find out there's differences to what you knew about the regular Krypton. And the House of El used to be like, he was the most respected scientist, Jor-El, and now if you wear that crest, it's because you're a nobody. You're like, you're like a blue collar kind of person. And that's why nobody believes him when he's like, Krypton's going to explode, and he winds up sending Clark to Earth, but he's already grown up there with his parents. He's not a baby in this one. He's like older than a toddler. He's in school. He's school age, so he's older when he comes to Earth. So he remembers Krypton. And then there was Absolute Wonder Woman, which is instead of being an Amazon growing up on Themyscira, she is raised in hell. She's the only Amazon left, and she's raised in hell. So they took what you know about the character, they kept a lot of it, but then they did some twists and turns to what you're used to, which makes it feel like you're reading about new characters in a way. And it was done so brilliantly for all of these books. It doesn't matter, we get these books in the store, how many I order. We, for the most part, sell all of them. I over-order and order second and third printings on all of these books because they sell like wildfire. I think Absolute Batman went to 4 printings, and I believe it sold somewhere north of 400,000, 500,000 copies, which doesn't sound like a lot considering like the millions that used to sell back in the 90s. But in today's world, that's a fuck ton of comics to be selling and to go to 4th printing. So, comic book of the year, Golden Lunchbox, DC's Absolute line.
All right, I'm not sure which one to go here, but you know what? I'm gonna go a little different here.
Yeah, please.
I don't know if this appropriate enough, but biggest dick tease I'm gonna go with is the Amazon Prime show Secret Level, specifically the Mega Man episode. I don't know if you've seen this, but secret levels come up, and it's about these. I don't know if you've ever seen like.
Is it a cartoon?
Yeah, so it's all animated.
Like an anime kind of thing?
So if you're familiar with Netflix created a show called like Love, Death and Robots.
Yes, I'm familiar with that show.
Right. So that studio or those same group of people did Secret Level, which they were hired now to do the same type of where every episode is kind of like a different animation, but it's all based on video games. So there's one that's like has a really cool dark twist of Pac-Man, which was more of a preview of the new Pac-Man game that's supposed to be coming out, which was, in my opinion, smart because you had this, 15, 20-minute episode of this really dark take on Pac-Man. You're like, that's really cool. They should make a game. And then like 2 weeks later, by the way, there's a game coming out.
All right. Smart, yeah.
So they did one with Mega Man, which is like everyone's excited about because they did part 1 and Mega Man wasn't in part 1, but everyone knew it was coming, and then part 2 came out. And most episodes are like 10 to 20 minutes, something like that. 20 minutes would be high, but usually at least like 10 minutes of like solid animation or something like that. Mega Man's the shortest episode with 5 minutes, and they show this really cool thing of him fighting Bomb Man, and then Dr. Light gets him ready to take on the rest of them, and then the episode just ends. And it's really short.
Like a second part?
I mean, we don't know if Next Level is going to come out with more episodes, and if those episodes are going to include Mega Man. No one knows. They just said, hey, this is something we can do really cool with Mega Man. They get you all excited about it. The animation is on point. The little, battle was cool. They really hype you up. And like the world that they kind of introduce you to, where Wily basically has just found ways to take over all of Light's robots and turn against the world. Really smart. And they did really cool. And it's just like we haven't seen a Mega Man game in forever. This is like the first thing of Mega Man we've seen in forever, and it's like get you all excited and then nothing. There's no new news of anything, at least from this point. So it was the coolest and most upsetting thing I've ever seen. But like good for them for hyping everyone up. Yeah. Now it's hopefully Capcom will be smart and do something
I
like
definitely think they're gonna follow up on that.
I mean,
I haven't watched any of it. It's good? Like
some of them are better than others, just like the Netflix show. But
right.
yeah, I mean, for the most part, there's some like I was more specific. Like, I want to watch this one, then watch this one.
Right.
Like the Dungeons and Dragons one, I thought was pretty cool.
Okay.
So they have I like it as a whole.
I'm gonna check it out. I haven't watched it yet, but it's on my list of things I want to check out.
Nice.
Yeah. And just a real quick add-on. I don't have a music one, but one that probably a Taylor Swift biggest fan is. I wanted to give a golden lunch back to Nikki Glazer, who's been killing it.
Yes.
And I know like the award show I think went into 2025, but like the Kevin Hart thing she did.
Yeah.
She is just like when it comes to comedians who are just consistent.
Yeah.
She's killing it. I'm not a huge fan of the lip injections she got done.
Doesn't look as good anymore.
No, but man,
but she is very funny.
Yeah, and I follow her on Instagram, and she's great on Howard Stern. She's just like a natural. Like she's just she's great with conversation. Like she's just naturally funny, man. She just has like a lot of charisma, and I always love comedians who are like, I think most comedians are like self-deprecating. She puts all her insecurities out there about her looks, and she's obviously has I think she suffered from some like body dysmorphia.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's
and she's everywhere though.
Yeah,
she like hosts some reality show I saw. I don't know what it's called, but she was doing that. I know a couple of years ago she was on like the Dancing with the Stars. She did that. She hosts all these roasts. Now she's gotten hosting the Golden Globes is a pretty big step for her, I think. And good for her, yeah.
And I thought she did well. I mean, I didn't watch the whole show. I kind of just watched clips of the stuff that she did.
Too.
Yeah.
And
but she also was like, it's interesting because she's getting a lot of praise for what she did on the award show, and I think she was very funny. But she didn't do anything that much different than Ricky Gervais when he would rip people apart, and he got like all the shit in the world for what he was saying. And I feel like she's getting away with doing something very similar. I don't know if maybe she's less mean-spirited about it.
Yeah, I think that's possible. What it is.
Or if it's because she's hot, so people give her a pass. I don't know. But I just noticed that she wasn't doing anything terribly different than Ricky. And Ricky got all the shit. and she's getting all the praise, and I thought that was interesting.
I thought Ricky was just a little bit harsher. Maybe even a little bit might be nicer.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah.
Ricky was harsher, and which I love him.
I think
don't
he's
get me
great.
wrong.
Yeah.
And I think it also has to do with the presentation of how you present the joke. Where
Right.
Rick like came up with like the stuff he said, and there was no like. You almost can't tell if he was joking or he was just like, this is what I've been thinking and I'm just gonna
Right.
say it. Where Nikki made it more light,
Like a
where it was
joke.
like,
Yeah.
there might have been some good stabs.
I think hers
but
had more like punchlines, where his was
Yeah.
Like just tearing people down,
it just
which
felt
I love.
like I felt like he just like was like he wasn't even trying to be funny. It was just really more just attacking and
Yeah.
just being like,
Yeah.
like, oh, you guys knew it. Things were the whole Weinstein things. You
Yeah.
guys knew it. Like, don't
Right.
get mad at me. You guys, you know. So it felt like more of like an attack. So maybe that's where he got more, you know.
I mean, think about it. If me and you said the same thing to some of the people that we know, they would look at you and be like, wow, okay, that was a way to be a jerk, Phil.
Yeah.
You know, and then for me, they'd be like, that's funny, Alex.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
For my next categories, I'm just gonna do kind of just like a lot of movie stuff right now. Just kind of
Okay.
ramble off.
You found a movie this year that should get
Just in the kind of just in that realm.
Okay.
In that realm. So I said for best movie reviewers, he's like one of the OGs of YouTube. I said Jeremy Johns. I feel like this guy does not get enough praise. I mean, he's really he's so consistent. I said he's always straight to this point. His videos are always like 8 minutes long tops. They're always objective. They're fair. He's trustworthy. I always find him like pretty accurate with his things. Other guys who kind of been like, I guess, more explosive is like Critical Drinker, and I think he's good. I think sometimes I feel like that guy's just kind of lecturing, and I think he gets kind of clouded by his own persona. But I love Jeremy Johns. I think he's excellent. I think he's going to be doing this the rest of his life, which I'm jealous of. And also another one, I think she's very good. She's actually got big because she's a cosplayer, and she's very pretty, she's very attractive. Her name's Snarky J. But her reviews are excellent. She's well spoken. She's articulate. Not like clickbait. She doesn't do the reviews like in her costume, so she's not even doing that. She's just dressed normal.
Right.
She does promote herself. I go, wow, I do this full time in terms of cosplay, all that stuff. But she's great. Her name's Snarky J. And I also put for other good reviews is the other classics, Red Letter Media. I love those guys. Mike and Jay. I mean, they're so consistent. You know, I know people can be kind of turned off by their offbeat kind of sense of humor, but I think if you get past that, I mean, their knowledge of film is insane. I mean, they could spend a whole episode just talking about technicals, about like aspect ratios and lenses and writing. I mean, they went to school for all that. I mean, but they really are really great. But also for just terms of like just other YouTubers, I think are amazing. I think the best interviewers is Rick Beato for music. I mean, if you want to, the guy it's just, I feel like maybe in the early 90s and before that, you had real interviews, and I feel like the past decade plus, like, they all seem fake, like late night shows. Those aren't real shows. Those aren't real interviews. You know, and like, Rick Beato, he sits down with them for like an hour. Like, the one with Sting is like mind-blowing. Jerry Cantrell from Alice in Chains. I mean, really great, interviews. And the other guy on YouTube is Peter Santinello. He's basically like a journalist. He just goes to like places around the world, and it's just like an hour long, and he'll contact Alex and be like, yo, take me through your hometown and tell me about it. And some of them are just like amazing. He went to Washington or California to some place called Mount Shasta, where it's basically like kind of where hippies live.
Right.
But it was like beautiful. It was like amazing. It was like, you're not gonna get journalism like that anymore. Not on like a CNN or a Fox. No way. It's like, I guess some of the good things is you have the internet where you can see these are like extra. This is what real journalism is. And another YouTube channel that's excellent is called Wolf Crow. This guy has been a cinematographer for like 25 years, and he has a series that's called like, why is this movie still like $1 billion? And he has one about like Superman. He does one for like even just breakdowns, how to do like editing, how to do like how to do scenes, how to frame scenes, and they're just excellent. And it's just like just film education. PJ, what do you have on your?
Well, I had an award I wanted to give out for my favorite streaming service of the year, which was Max. because there were three. Well, there were more than three things. But
And we're not sponsored, folks.
We're not sponsored by anything.
Anything we talk about tonight, we are not sponsored by anything.
But if HBO Max would like to sponsor
exactly.
us, feel free. We would be okay with that.
Please, yeah.
We will give you all the ad time in the world. But no, I picked Max because there were three projects specifically, although there were many that were good, that really, really, really stood out. And for me, they happen to actually be three DC projects. Mm-hmm. The Penguin, the TV show.
I left that because I knew when I spoke prior to that, but I'll add on a little bit.
Yeah, mm-hmm. So we have a whole episode about it. Go ahead and listen to us if you want our thoughts on the full show. But it's amazing what's his face? Colin Farrell was able to accomplish. It doesn't look like him. It doesn't sound like him. He doesn't have the same personality. He doesn't walk the same. Yeah. Nothing about it would make you think that that's Colin Farrell, and yet somehow it is. But that's the Penguin. That is Oz Cobb, as they call him. It should be Oswald Cobblepot, but it's Oz Cobb. I thought that show was just really written so well, filmed so well, written so well, that one of the best TV shows to come out this entire year, for sure.
Absolutely.
And then they double down on their DC content and give you the Creature Commandos, which is
on my watch list.
So fucking fantastic.
And we have an episode.
We have an episode about that. So go back and listen to me talk about why I love that so much. But again, it's character driven. It's taking characters that, one, if you're not a comic book person, you may not know about. Not many people are sitting around talking about how Dr. Phosphorus is their favorite anything, right? Like, who knows who he is? Some people probably don't know DC Comics has their own version of the Frankenstein monster. These aren't big-name characters, but he takes them, James Gunn, and he's the one who wrote all the episodes, I think. He definitely created the show. And he makes them... You care about G.I. Robot. You care about these characters that... In present day, current times, no one knows who they are or gives a shit. Finds a way to just make you care about these characters, and you want to see good things for them. But it's funny. He has tons of humor. A lot of it is very dark. It's not for audience of all ages. It's for adults. Like, I don't know that you'd want to have a kid watch this show with some of the stuff they do and say, but it was done so well. And then the third project that was on Max that everyone should watch. This could get its own award for documentary of the year. Is Super/Man, the Christopher Reeves documentary.
Oh, that's another one. I have that one and the Creature Commandos.
Shit! If you want a good cry, go put that on and you just watch what happened to this guy. And I mean, we all know the story of Christopher Reeves. He's Superman. He breaks his neck in a horse riding accident. Tragically stuck in a wheelchair forever. But the documentary just starts before that. It's not all about that, you know? And you just see that he had a lot of other dark things going on in his life that no one really knew about. The way his family, like the way he grew up, and his relationship with his father was not what, things you never knew because they just never talk about. And then, I don't know, there was just, when I watched it, I felt like I was so sad for him and so happy for him that he got the role of a lifetime as Superman, and it doesn't matter how many Supermen we've gone through, still is like the standard bearer of who Superman needs to be. The look, the way he acts, the way he held himself, like, I don't know, it was just really, really, really good, but really heartbreaking and gut-wrenching to watch someone that I think people our age and probably even a little bit older consider this guy a hero who's done nothing but play Superman. Like, he's not like he's going out in real life saving the planet, but somehow he like made you feel like he was Superman, and so a hero to millions. And to watch what happened to his life was so heartbreaking. So Max killed it this year with their programming. There's some other good stuff on there too, but man, did they kill it with the DC programming. This is the first year I think in a long time where you could say there were more positives for DC comics and TV and movies than you could say for Marvel. Yeah. And that's saying something, because Marvel's been at the top of that ladder for a long time. But I don't know, maybe it's James Gunn, maybe it's just Disney being too woke and ruining their Marvel stuff. I don't know. But things are shifting. But that streaming service and those three projects specifically, so good. Yeah.
And just to add on to that, I forgot to mine, I'll be real quick, is I want to give one Golden Lunchbox to Squid Game 2. We have a whole review of that where I talk about it, but it really is, it's binge-worthy, kind of just like The Penguin, and it's really exquisite. And yes, is it better than the first season? No, but that's kind of like saying like is Back to the Future Part 2 better than 1? No, but Back to the Future Part 2 is great.
Right.
You know, like, yeah, you can't,
I mean, that last game they play in,
yeah.
and that, oof,
Yeah.
that was
But Back
brutal.
to the Future 3 is better than the other two.
Right. Listen to that episode, too. Alex, what do you have?
Well,
Any more awards?
in lieu of Marco, so this actually works out. My girlfriend felt like she needed to hand out a
Yes.
Golden Lunchbox Award to, remember, this is my girlfriend,
Yep.
to Wicked. And she wanted
Yeah,
me to
that's
read
fair.
a little thing she wrote. So, excuse me while I get into character. All right. So I went in to see Wicked on a whim with no expectations or prior knowledge of the storyline. After having seen it twice in the theaters now, I'd say it's a sensational film. Oh, I'm
Twice in
sorry.
theaters.
I'd say this sensational film is more than just a movie. Pause for effect. It's an experience. I felt like I was on the journey to meet the Wizard of Oz alongside the lead protagonist. The beautiful set designs, the astonishing music and vocals all blew me away. Needless to say, I'm at the edge of my seat waiting for part 2, which will be released in November 2025. I'd highly recommend watching this movie. Just don't forget to bring the tissues. So thank you,
Wow.
Christina,
Wow.
for
Thank you. That was actually a really great, concise review.
Yeah, it really was.
And you deserve an award just for doing it very concise. And hey, look, I'm not surprised. Look, it's Wicked it was already a hit Broadway show.
Yeah.
They brought it to film. The whole cast is talented. Ariana Grande's talented. She's a crazy singer. Cynthia Rain, she is crazy. You have Jeff Goldblum. Well, I can't remember. I think Michelle Yeoh. Yeah,
So many people are in it.
the whole
yeah.
thing is done with care. And I haven't seen it. I'm not really into musicals, so that's kind of my thing. And I know, like, the interviews is kind of made.
Well, this is a great segue for when we get to my
Right.
brown paper bags.
Right,
But
which will be shortly.
Yeah.
But no, that was, and I agree that. I mean, hey, look, it deserves to be praised. I mean, it sounds like it's been executed.
it's been a huge hit. I mean, it was a phenomenon this year,
Yep.
and it's probably going to take all the awards home.
Yep.
I hate The Wizard of Oz, so I have no intentions of seeing this movie. I saw the Broadway play, and it was fine. I'm not anti-musical by any stretch.
Right.
I like musicals.
Well, you can't
but
go
I
by
don't-
people like us because we're
Yeah.
already going in like not really turned on by.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
sounds objectively, and she sounds, not having met your girlfriend, seems like she said she went on it. On
Oh
a
yeah,
whim, as is.
her
Yeah,
aunt
so-
dragged her to see it, and she asked me if I wanted to see it. I'm like, they would have to be like stupid to like ruin such a
Yes.
successful Broadway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I knew it was going to be a at least for people who love Wicked. I mean, theaters had to hand out warnings like don't sing along with the movie, like.
yeah.
So you knew it was going to be big, but I was surprised how I actually, I'll take that back. I wasn't surprised because I think I was telling her like, you like musicals, you're going to like this. Like she's in love with Mamma Mia, like you're going to love this
Yeah.
this movie, and she was still went in there with like very like low expectations. When she came back loving it, it didn't surprise me. I mean, we went out one night on the way home. She's like, I'm just gonna blast Wicked on the way home. I'm like, all right, whatever makes you happy.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
that's her thing now. But
Nice.
thanks,
Excellent.
Christina. But I wanted to maybe do something. I had to at least bring these guys up somehow in this podcast today.
Okay.
So I made a category for Golden Lunchbox for best on-scene fights.
Oh,
all right.
So I got 2, and one of them, of course, I have to start this off with Godzilla vs. Kong.
yeah.
Okay.
I know a lot of people went into this movie like, there's no way, what's going on? Yes, Godzilla vs. Kong was kind of cheesy, and this one is
Yeah.
just as cheesy. I mean, but if you just want to see a bunch of giant monsters fight on screen,
yeah.
I liked how in this movie they didn't go too crazy with the human story. It was still beyond silly. But there were some decent, like, there's a scene, I don't know if you've seen it, where, like, Kong is basically trying to get Godzilla's attention, and all the thing, and Kong's, like, sitting there like, hey, like, I need your help, and however Kong can say that, and Godzilla doesn't care, and just, like, runs at him, and
right.
starts, like, beating on him, and it's, like, this fun little exchange between them until, spoiler alert, Mothra shows up, and basically says, yeah, no, you guys need to work together, but, yeah, I mean, there was those little fun action stuff like that as cheesy as those movies can be, the one thing they get right, and it is definitely more of a calm movie, that they just get like Godzilla's badass. Like they always tend to like remind you like, yeah, this is a little fun, Kong is more human like, but you do not mess with Godzilla, and they made that in every scene where he's fighting in those parts where he's fighting these little titans here and there throughout the film. He's just such a force of destruction. So I like how, as cheesy as the movie can be, they always emphasize that in his fights. And the other fight, which I know is going to be controversial to the people here, is the car fight scene in Deadpool vs. Wolverine. I thought.
Well, we'll get to our brown paper bag.
Yeah, we'll get to our brown paper
But-
bag.
I'm telling you, man. I thought the action in that movie was great, and I thought the scene where they were fighting in the
I
car,
thought it was exhausting.
I loved it.
I felt
watched
like
it.
I was in that fight.
Ugh,
I think what Hugh Jackman says to Deadpool, that scene of him kind of just trashing him.
Oh, yeah.
That is a beautiful acting moment. That's like a great scene. For me, the fight did nothing for me, but that scene itself is excellent.
I felt like, I feel like in movies where there's action, the action has to serve a purpose to advance a
advancing
plot.
the plot,
Yeah, and I know we're gonna agree on this one because we've said this so many times. Everything that happens in a movie has to serve a purpose. So why is it there? Because you have a limited amount of time. You have between an hour and a half and 3 hours, depending on the type of movie, to tell your story. And that fight did nothing to advance the plot. We know they don't like each other. They're fighting throughout the whole thing.
We already had a fight prior to that.
We already had a fight with them. It felt like we're doing this again. Is this a repeat? I just felt like I didn't need it.
The argument could have been you had to create a reason why both of them were tied up and whatever.
Yeah, no, I get
X-13 or X whatever her name. To show up and bring them along, but. I get where you're coming from, and I know we can go on and on about the disagreements on that, but you know what? At the end of the day, it is an action movie. They came up with a silly reason maybe to create this action sequence. I disagree. I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was clever.
I do think it's a better action scene than the one they fight in the other, wasteland bar.
Right, but they had just done it, so just give us one good one then.
Right. We'll get to it, PJ. But Al, that was great. Those are great choices. No, for real. Both are really well deserved. Though.
Yes,
well deserved.
Yes. No, those are the two biggest movies of the year. I don't think there's any dispute that the two biggest movies of the year are Wicked and Deadpool versus Wolverine. I don't think there is any two bigger movies this year than those. And it's interesting because those are not. When you think of historical, maybe not the last couple of years, but historically, when you think about the biggest movies of the year. It's not these kind of movies. It's not a musical. It's not a comic book movie. It's usually like a drama or something.
Oppenheimer, Requiem for a Dream kind of
It's like something like that, a Godfather, like a Rocky, like those kind of dramatic roles. And now it's like the biggest thing in the year is it? Yeah.
The horror movies they say are making the biggest money in theaters right now.
Absolutely.
It's just a different time in movies. And I kind of appreciate the fact that it's not everyone watching The Color Purple and The Pianist. Those movies used to win, and we'd be like, "Who's watching this shit?"
Because they fit so comfortably in the category of I'll watch it at home.
Right.
So now, you see less of them because they're not making the money in the theater. But that's why you see kind of movies like that show up on Apple TV or straight to streaming because that's where they're getting the most attention.
I think for me, guys, I think we should wrap up our golden.
Yeah, I don't have any more golden lunch boxes.
So I'll just have two more, and just to feedback with your thing about Kong and Godzilla. I always felt that I agree. Godzilla is like the main man, and I always felt that King Kong was actually like the Rocky Balboa of monsters. Anyway, I'm giving the golden lunchbox to my wife, and the reason why I'm giving it because I think she represents many things, and I think most of all she allows me to be me. She allows me to act like a cartoon character, live like a cartoon character, think like one, and but in all seriousness, no, and I know folks who are listening at home, all I can say is a lot of people, they don't settle on certain things. I'm not gonna get that car. It's not the car that I want. I'm not gonna get that job. I'm not gonna get that salary. I'm not gonna settle for that. But for some reason, so many people settle on their love lives, which is the craziest thing, right? Because when you drop dead one day in your deathbed, I should have worked more hours. I should have accumulated more things or whatever or money. Why would you settle on your love life? And it's in my field of work. The patients that I work with, and just turning 40 in 9 months. I'm just kind of something that makes me sad. But a lot of people, I understand there's fear. You know, you don't want to be alone, but you don't want to be surrounded. As I say, like I can feel alone in a crowded room. You know, imagine in your own bedroom. You know, in your own dinner table. So I don't know if that got dark, but and
Yeah, just get real. It's okay. We can get real here.
I will say this. that Alex doesn't know this, right? Because I know Alex from work as an adult. Everyone knows I've known Mike my entire life.
Yes.
This is
PJ
true.
might as well be my second one.
Yeah, I've known since third grade. We've been friends, and I've said this. I don't know if I've mentioned this to you or not, but outside of people that I'm related to, you are the person I have known in my life the longest that I still talk to.
Wow.
Yeah, outside of people I'm related to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So he talks about, Mike's talking about his wife. I was at the wedding, a beautiful wedding. There is a room. This is to speak to Amanda about what she allows Mike to be himself. There is a room in Mikey's house that is his childhood bedroom. She allowed him to take a room in his house and recreate it so that it looks exactly like, to a T, to the sheets on the bed. I mean, I'm telling you.
Twin bed?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It is. She allowed him to recreate his childhood bedroom. So the fact that I go to his house and he's like, you got to check out the room upstairs. And he brings me into the room upstairs and I felt like I walked through a time warp. I'm like, we're back in Levittown. We are in, I know this room. She let him set it up exactly the same way. And that is not something that a lot of people would allow. So I think that is very special. And the first thing I said when I walked into that room, I don't know if you remember, is, where's your brother's drum set?
Oh, yeah.
That was like the only thing missing.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Alex, it was like I walked into a time machine. Like, I'm like, what the fuck? Did you save all that stuff and you just had it?
Oh, yeah,
So
absolutely.
it wasn't like you had to go out and like
all those
things.
posters, like
those are the originals.
My Roger Rabbit poster, Back to the Future, Goodfellas, all that kind of stuff.
And it's
my
amazing.
guitars, and random stuffed animals, all there.
Well, that's smart you did that, unlike the person who's not here, Marco, who got rid of it all because he doesn't know what he's doing.
And now he's trying to buy it all back.
Yeah.
And my last one, real quick, this might be maybe conceited, but I want to give it to us, PJ.
Oh, we deserve it. Yeah, absolutely.
And mainly for 2 episodes. Our Deadpool Wolverine one, because we stood our ground, and our latest one, our wrap-up of 2024, because obviously we talk about controversial stuff, and our views on it. But the reason I'm giving it to us is this main thing, because particularly with the Deadpool one, we made some reels, and we got a lot of... And people... Look, I don't care if someone wants to make fun of us.
Yeah,
that. But one of the things we did on it was, when responding, I was like, well, you want to come on an episode and talk about it? Right. And everyone says, no. I would love for a podcast to respond to me and say, like, hey, you want to... We weren't going to be like...
No, we weren't going to shit on these people.
Come on and talk. Right. So this goes all out there. Folks, if you're listening, you can contact us. You have something you want to talk about or debate us on, we are more than welcome. We are adults. We want to have an adult conversation. Right. So.
Well, spoiler alert, one of my golden lunchbox was going to you guys. I wanted to mention real quick, but guess what? So is a brown paper bag.
Yeah, I know the brown paper bag.
But I have to say, and it's probably different for me because, like, I know you guys, more specifically Phil, is I'm in the car driving to work and I'm listening to your podcast and I'm disagreeing with Phil. Which, guys, I disagree with Phil all the time.
For anyone who doesn't know, the
Feel
P
free.
and PJ stands for Phil. That's me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm used to calling him Phil. But like, I'm literally yelling at my radio.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you kidding me, Phil? And so it's like, and then like I talked to him at work, and I haven't talked to him all day, but yet it feels like I just spoke to him. So I think it's the fact that you guys can. It's like that relaxed atmosphere of just like as if you guys were literally right in front of me having a conversation. So that was my little plug for you guys. Wasn't trying to get brownie points, but it was something I wanted to mention.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, Alex. But any other golden one before our brown paper bags? I'm sure all our...
You know what? I just had, I wrote a big list of them, but one fun one I'm going to put out there because everyone can enjoy it is my favorite new movie theater snack is now they come up with popcorn with either Oreo or Cheetos.
Yes.
And they are
I guess like a salty,
delicious.
Yeah, they are really good.
Delicious. Only Island 16 by us in Suffolk County, which is Phil's no man's land.
Oh, I won't go.
Had the Oreo.
Yeah.
But the Oreo's delicious. But most Regals have the Cheetos one, the regular and the spicy. And we were so disappointed. We're like, oh, they only have Cheetos. All right, we'll get it. And my girlfriend loved the Cheetos one. So, just a fun little golden lunchbox way to keep things interesting. Movie theaters.
Yeah. So, folks, we're going to the Brown Paper Bag Awards, and this is where we kind of just get a lot of our anger out. So,
Yeah.
PJ, start us off.
I
Brown
will
paper
start
bag,
us
bro.
off. I'm going to start us off with two of them. First one is going to Marco. Because he didn't show up today.
Way to go, Marco.
So Marco gets a brown paper bag award for not showing up. But no, my first one is going to the East Meadow United States Postal Office. The post office here. Let me take you on a journey, folks. When you have a store, sometimes you have online orders and you mail things out. I had to mail something out to a customer, a package. Box it all up, I go to the post office. I don't know if you've ever mailed a package from the post office. They have that little kiosk, like the self-service.
Yeah.
And you weigh it, and it measures your shit. You print out the label, you stick it on, you mail it, you're good to go, right? So I go to the post office. This is the East Meadow, Long Island Post Office, located on East Meadow Ave. I want to stress enough that this post office, specifically, not the
PJ's trying
entire
to trigger
post office.
someone who's like a Luigi to
For real.
really go postal.
For the East Meadow Post Office specifically. I go there with my box. The line for the kiosk is out the door, which is not the post office fault that it's busy. That's not their fault. So I said, well, this line is like 10, 15 people deep. But there was a very small line to actually talk
To a clerk.
to a clerk.
Yeah.
I said, I'll just do that. I'll get out of here quicker. I had like 2 people ahead of me instead of 15. So, all right. So I wait for the 2 people ahead of me. There are 3 windows where you could go. Each window has a person. Only one person is taking customers. The other 2 could give a shit that there's a line. But whatever. So I'm waiting until my turn, and I finally get called up to the window. And I go to the man and I say, hey, I need to mail this package. And he says, well, there's no address on the package. I say, I know. Because I need to give you the address so that you can fill out the label and I can get tracking information and you can send it on its way. He goes, but there's no address written on the box. I said, I know, Mr. Postman.
Right.
I know. I need to give you the address so that, again, I can purchase the label with the tracking and I can put it on the box and scan the barcode and then mail it out. I need the tracking, so I don't want to just write it on here. I need a step further. He goes, but if you don't write it on the box, how am I going to know where to send the box? I said, well, I'm going to tell you where to send it. You're going to type it in and print out the label. He said, but this doesn't make, he says to me, this is not the fastest way to do it. The fastest way to do it is to write it down and then I type it in and then I print it out. I said, no, the fastest way, because we've wasted so much time already, is for you to just let me tell you the address. He refuses. He said it has to be written down. It has to be
Is that
written down.
like a some kind of law?
I
or
don't
something,
know.
like postal
I
law?
don't know. It seems dumb as fuck to me. So now I realize why there's no line to talk to the clerk. It's because the line is everyone lined up where there's one little table with like a pen attached to a chain, right? Everyone is waiting for the pen because this guy will not print out anything. So I'm like, now I got to wait on a line again to write down the... Okay. I turn around and I'm like, well, the line for the kiosk is now empty. I will go to the kiosk and just do this myself. I put in all the information. I get my label. I pay. I stick it on the box. You know how they have like this... it's like a drop box, right?
Yeah.
And you put the package in. I go to open it. It won't open. So I'm like trying to jiggle it open. And another post office person comes out and says... It's not locked, it's full. I'm like, well, can you empty it so that I can put
Or
my
can you take
package
this
in
and bring
the
it
box?
back?
Like, what do you want? She goes, if you want it mailed, you have to wait online and give it to one of the clerks. I'm like, I was already online. He wouldn't help me. He would not take my package. And now I have to come out here, and now this is locked, and now you want me to wait online again? What the fuck, post office? And then this lady had the nerve to go, it's fine, I'll just take it and put it in the bin. Well, I am so sorry that the person who works in the post office has to do their job and take a package and put it in a bin. She didn't have to print out a label. She didn't have to type shit in. She took it and put it in another bin. That's it. And that was too hard for her. Fuck this post office. Fuck, it's so hard. I do not like the East Meadow Post Office. From now on, I am mailing everything out from the Levittown Post Office, which never has a problem. It's only the East Meadow Post Office that sucks. They get a brown paper bag award. I don't know if post office thrive on people spending money there, or if they have to be there regardless.
Right.
But I will not buy a stamp. I won't buy a single fucking stamp from the East Meadow Post Office, and I will not mail things there. I don't want them sullying my package by them touching it. That's how much I hate the East Meadow Post Office.
Next,
Wow.
I'm assuming it's going to be a Yelp review as well. So. Alex, what do you have? Brown paper bag.
You know what? I'm going to start off and throw it back at Phil for
Here it comes.
for his movie review where he said that The Crow was going to do better than Alien this past summer. This is one of those experiences where I was yelling at the radio, like, in what world do you think that The Crow, which had many remakes and sequels that have failed to go anywhere, which, don't get me wrong, love the original.
Well, the original is one of the best movies ever
Yeah.
made.
Yeah.
But I just didn't see it, and I would have hoped that it did well enough because I like the people who were in the remake. But yeah, I have to say I was so happy to be right that it did so well, especially in comparison to The Crow. But yeah, I was, you know what, I like Phil. Or PJ, sorry guys, and I think he's, I love listening to your podcast, but
I
you
know
know
you
what?
weren't happy with it.
I'm gonna give a brown paper bag to that one because he should have known better.
that's fine.
Well, you know what it is, Alex? Let me say this. That was more hopeful, I guess, than the prediction.
Fair enough.
Because if they never made another Crow movie, I would be fine with it. I would be fine with it. We don't need any more. The first one's perfect. But they were going to make one. They finally got it going, and they had a good cast. And I wanted it to be really good. So that was more hopeful that it would do better. The problem with the Alien movies is this. If I never saw another Alien movie, I don't know that it would impact my life. Because I feel very strongly that these Alien movies, while they could be good now, there are some good ones. I just feel like it's always the same movie. And I'm just like, how many times do we need to see, like, it's going to pop out of the chest, it's going to land on a face, pew, 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 rocket ships, aliens, credits. Like, it's the same movie every time. And until they do something different with the aliens, I just don't think I'm going to be able to support that franchise. The Predator franchise is doing something cool with, like, Prey.
Yeah.
And it's like, it feels like they're putting them in different time period. Like, I want a Predator in the Wild West. I don't know if they're going to do that, but they should.
Yeah.
But, like, with Alien, I just feel like it's always the same thing.
I feel like the latest Alien movies have done their own thing, and I think why Romulus did so well is because they almost like took it back to like
Just
keeping
sci-fi,
it simple. There's not a lot of space or really any space horror movies going around, and there's not many that ever came out. So I think like you have a genre that doesn't have much in it, and you have everyone is like you said, everyone's rooting for an Alien movie to be good. So when you have something that, not that this movie was like the most like genius movie that ever came out, but the fact that they went old school with it and they made like obviously that nostalgic feel plays a part of it, but and other than the ending, which was I guess their way of doing something different with the Alien, I just liked how they kept it simple. They were in this abandoned ship where the aliens were there, and then you kind of find out what happened and stuff like that. But
I think there's less room in that franchise to do things. Like, it's very one note, and as much as how much more can you do with these aliens? And that's my problem with it. I want to see someone do something completely like, holy shit, this doesn't feel like an Aliens movie. That was really cool. Like when Prey. But I felt that way about Prey. I'm like, that was really fucking cool what they did with
Prey
Predator.
was great. And
I don't know how you can do that with the aliens. That's my only. That's my response.
Very great pick. For me, this is for me. I hate this word now, and I just hate everything it just represents. I'm giving a brown paper bag to the algorithm.
That the algorithm,
right? Because I feel like it's like ruining art, particularly music and film. I always say this. I feel like 2010 was like the beginning of the end for this kind of stuff, and I feel like even with our show, those are in bands, those are trying to make their own like independent film. I feel like nowadays it's never like, I gotta try to beat, like I don't feel like when we obviously PJ, we're not gonna be we can't.
We're not gonna top Joe Rogan.
Yeah, we're not exactly. We know that, we're aware of it, but like I don't even feel like I'm competing against my contemporaries, other people who do this. I feel like I'm competing against the algorithm.
Yeah.
Like everything's like, well, you gotta make this soundbite, you gotta make this clickbait, you got You gotta make it more niche. It's like I'm not even competing against another person who's very good. Like even with music, I feel like like early 2000s, someone kind of said it. Oh, there was like Nelly was going against Snoop and Ludacris. And it's like all those guys are saying now like I'm not even competing against my contemporaries. I'm competing against like reels and like like it just seems like everything now is just a lot of style over substance and just like anyway, I just hate the algorithm and I feel like it's like you're not competing against talent anymore. You're competing against a math equation. So anyway, I'm giving it to that.
All right, well, I have one here. This is a gold. The Brown Paper Bag Award goes to the Levittown King Cullen closing down. Now, you may laugh, but I don't know if you go food shopping, Alex. It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Right? No one really loves the idea of having to go food shopping.
Second only to going to Target with you.
We had a great time at Target, and don't even lie. No. So, the supermarket that I chose to shop at was King Cullen. Minutes from my house. They had everything. They were a little overpriced. But the fact that they were overpriced kept people out of the store, which meant I could do my food shopping quicker and more conveniently. Yeah. I considered the higher price a convenience tax, and I appreciated the fact that I was in and out. It was close to home, like I said. I could, oh man, I don't have this in the house. I could run out on lunch and get back.
Run into,
So convenient. But they've closed. So now I can't food shop there anymore. The problem is there is no other supermarket locally that can serve the same purpose for me. So there is the Walmart supermarket, but that place is a madhouse. It's a zoo.
Yeah.
You can't get in and out because there's too many people. It's like always under construction. I don't know. You can't get in and out, so it becomes a longer experience. I don't like going to the Stop and Shop by Target because the parking lot sucks. Awful. Yep. Folks, this is a real Nassau County-based problem. I'm not going to lie. But the supermarket parking lot situation for Stop and Shop by that Target it's just awful. I mean, I don't know.
They need another exit in that parking lot. They can't just depend on that one light.
Yeah, it's really, really terrible. My car got broken into in that lot. They stole shit out of it. They smashed the window. Like it's just
PJ has a lot of trauma. From that parking lot.
So that's out of the equation, right? Then they closed the Stop and Shop by Walmart. That one's gone too, so you can't even go there. Where am I food shopping? My options are go to Stu Leonard's, who has a great.
This ShopRite in Bethpage.
That's where I've been going.
But still.
But it's like, I don't want to. I just have no other option. If I go to Stu Leonard's, I will be poor. It's so expensive.
I really hope they put Uncle Giuseppe's, because that could be a little expensive, but their food's so good, though.
Well, we have the one right here.
Yeah,
it's a small one. It's very tiny. The big one is nice. The one in Massapequa was real nice. Yep. And then there's the one, I guess that's considered Melville on 110. It's even bigger.
Yep.
And that's real nice. That's a great parking lot. But they're so expensive. You can't do a regular food shop in these specialty
that's
stores.
Like you having a party or something.
Yeah.
Like that,
Where am I supposed to go? I just want to get food for the week. Handsome Alex, where do I go for my food? Where do you food shop?
All right, man. I'm going to give you an easy solution. It's called Instacart. And if you don't mind paying the extra money for the delivery service, then just go wherever we go to Costco.
Instacart. I can't do it. Let me tell you why. One time, I wanted to order chocolate milk. And they didn't have chocolate milk in the store. This is what the Instacart shopper replaced my chocolate milk with. Regular milk and a Hershey bar.
Wow.
That's I've never heard of.
What am I going to do with this? I got to melt the chocolate down to make chocolate milk? I'm not going to do that. Yeah. If you would have replaced it with chocolate syrup in the milk, I'd been like, this is adding minutes to my life to drink the chocolate milk. But all right, a chocolate bar, I got to melt it down? The Instacart shoppers, they don't know. They don't know, Alex.
Well, there's an option that says refund if item's not available.
Alex, what do you have for your brown paper bag?
All right, so for the next one, I'm going to take a stab at reality TV.
Ooh. There you go.
And I know it's super popular, so if might be some people listening that might not like this. This whole Love is Blind phenomenon that's going on right now.
I've not seen that.
And more particularly, and I'm going to bounce off some of the stuff you said earlier, is even though I'm not married, I do take think marriage is a very serious thing, and it's almost like it emphasizes more of what you hear of like the younger generations not taking marriage seriously enough and the divorce rates being so high, when one of the most popular shows in the world right now, because there's Love is Blind Germany, Love is Blind Spain, is that go on a show, talk to some guy through a wall for a week or two, and then 2 weeks later you're gonna get married, and then like that's the serious thing, and then like the quote drama is that people are getting close to a marriage when they only know someone for 3 weeks, and they're like, oh, I think we need more time. Yeah, you need more time. And it's just like this little thing inside of me. I'm just like, what is what is like the stupidity behind this? And I get it, people go on these reality shows to up their social media accounts, and I get that, but like the concept is just like, and that people are like, and that does seem people who are genuinely like, but another thing, like what I always say is people treat marriage like a milestone. Like, I need to get married because that's what people do, not because they actually like super in love with the people, and some of the kids may be. I've met so many people where it's like, I had some doubts going into it, but I figured, I'm 27, 30 now, it's time for me to get married. Like, that's like a terrible way to think about it. Like but the fact that divorce is just such like a not to get real, everyone, sorry, but like that it's such like a fallback, and then you have shows like this that are like, don't worry, just get married, you'll get some views, and people will like you for a week or two before the next season comes out.
How do you feel about Love on the Spectrum?
I've never seen it, so I have no idea.
That is a wild show. Where it's people on the spectrum, and they're like set up on dates with other people. Look, I'm not saying that they shouldn't find people, or I don't want it to sound like that, but who decided this should be a TV show? It's like what you're saying, like, someone put this show together, Love is Blind, like, someone sat in a room with an executive and had to pitch this show, and the other guy was like, green light, let's make this. Like, how does it happen? Like, there
has to be some weird backdoor stuff that we don't know about, because to me, the whole idea
like
just...
weird backdoor stuff.
Well, not on this podcast. But yeah, it makes zero sense to me. So I just felt like it deserved to receive a brown paper bag. I guess you can't blame them. People are watching it, but I think the whole concept, this whole thing behind it. I think the brown paper bag goes to the people that are watching it. Yeah, you know what? I hate saying that because my girlfriend loves the show, but I mean, it's just the. Some people like the drama behind it, which I get. So they're just finding new ways to create the drama, but. I also like some of the people who are on the show who are surprised. Like they look like they're genuine. Like you could see the look in their face, like, oh my God, I really am about to get married in 2 weeks. And it's like, what did you think was going to happen? When literally the layout of the show is you're going to meet them, do this, and then get married. So,
I have one more big one, and after that I have go around. I just have like my lightning round of ones, but I'm giving a brown paper bag, and this was actually I'm really happy about this. I'm giving it to Disney adults. I just hate that entire population.
Really?
Yes.
I'm a Disney adult.
Yeah, not really.
Although I haven't gone the last couple of years.
Yeah, but you're not, and I'll get into like, here's the thing. So, these are the people who treat it like a religion. And like a cult. And these are the people who are like...
Yeah, we're not at that level.
And I'm like, they do this thing where they're like, I refuse to go to Universal Studios. Get a life. Get a grip. That means you're not going to go to Six Flags. You're not going to go to you have kids or something. Maybe you don't have kids. Whatever it is. You're not going to go to your town carnival. Like, get a life, please. Oh, my God. That means if you're going to really hold that ground, then don't watch Back to the Future. Don't watch, any other classic movie that was made by that studio.
Right.
Don't just do, I can't go to their park. Like, what? What? What do you have invest? What? And this whole thing, they're walking in there, they're crying. You're a grown-ass man. Like, look, I love Disney. I love those movies. Look around. I went there this past summer. I was running around, singing and dancing. Yeah, I get that. But, like, you're an adult. Like, you gotta, you gotta maybe go to therapy, bro. Or woman, you gotta, you have some kind of past, trauma here. Like, that place is not there for you to process your
grief.
Whatever. You need to get a grip, folks, like, this is a children's park. You're walking around and people are eating bars that are in the shape of a mouse. Like, get a grip. Like, you gotta get a life. And I want to tell them, like, look, you can go to this park, but maybe take an adult vacation. Go to an island. Like, instead of seeing things that are like, oh, I went to, like, Epcot and I saw Japan. Well, you know what? maybe actually go to Japan.
You want to hear
Live a
something
little.
funny? I
Live a
wanted to
little.
go to Japan, but only to go to the Disney in Japan, not to see Japan.
Oh my god! But like, regardless, like you know what I'm saying? Like, live a little. Like, you could spend the same amount of money and like actually go to these places. Like, go to Germany, go to Sweden or wherever Elsa was made. Like, I don't know, maybe go to school for animation. Like, you know, like instead of watching Mickey, maybe draw him. Like, be an adult. Like. Calm down, folks.
I
Like,
hear you on some of
get
the
a
people
grip.
go to the
Like,
extreme.
You gotta get a grip,
Yeah,
man. Like
I hear that.
I feel like Walt Disney, if he was alive, he would be like, I want you to have fun in my park. This isn't you don't worship my park. Like, that's not what I'm about. I'm here for you to inspire you to follow your own dreams, not to be obsessed with mine. You know, like,
Right.
live. Live.
Yeah.
Don't just keep in that bubble. Like, it's a big planet out there, folks. Like, you know, like, wish upon a star, literally. Not just sing it. Do it. So,
There is a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. Is what
Exactly.
you're trying to say.
Exactly, PJ. Exactly. On this carousel of progress of life. Exactly. So, anyway, for the love of God, please get out of here. PJ, what do you have?
I have a brown paper bag award going to the Wicked PR team.
Yes.
Oh my fucking god! I could not watch those. You like scroll the reels, or you might be on like social media on Facebook and the videos, and you're looking through them,
Yeah.
and they would pop up, and they were so annoying. I don't know what was going on between Ariana Grande,
Yeah.
the other one whose name I don't know.
Cynthia Arena, yep.
Yeah, the videos. What's her name? Cynthia Arrigo,
Yeah.
something like that. And they were like, the way they were just interacting was so off-putting and so forced. And I don't know what was going on there, but it was. I couldn't watch any of those. There was one thing with like a lie detector test, and they're like giving each other lie detector tests. And then there's that stupid song that they were singing.
Wow,
It's
Defying Gravity.
just so fucking annoying.
No, it's so funny because last year when we did our Golden Lunchbox, I gave an award for there's a YouTuber who says that cringe is unforgivable. And that's like those interviews are
so
something
cringe.
It's unforgivable, man.
Yeah, it's really, really was not good. I haven't seen the movie. The movie could be great. I don't know. I have no interest in it. If I had an interest in it, these PR interviews and shit would have turned me off, and I wouldn't see it. If I had if I went in blind and I didn't know what Wicked was, and this is what was supposed to get me to see the movie, there's no world in which I'm like, and I watch this and I'm like, I should see this movie. It's not going to do it. I don't understand how the movie did. I understand how the movie did well. It's because it has a built-in audience, but I don't understand how it did as well as it did. Like, you would think the casual viewer who doesn't know anything about this would have seen this promotional tour that they were on and have been so turned off and been like, I'm not wasting my money on this bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't know how it did as well. I'm not surprised it did well. But man, I don't know how the casual viewer got pulled in after watching that horseshit promotional tour.
Well deserved. Alex.
My brown paper bag is gonna go to Amazon Video.
Wow.
I feel like we all spend a lot of money in Amazon, and I feel like the other streaming services, I don't think there's anything in Amazon that really goes above and beyond. But now they're gonna charge us extra to watch movies and stuff ad free, and I know it's not like a ton extra a month, but I just refuse to pay it.
Yes, of course, it's the principle.
And I just feel, and there's a couple other things with Amazon lately that I've noticed, which I guess not really their fault as much as it is the sellers, but like even like Cyber Mondays, I've noticed because there's certain things you keep on your wish list, and you whatever, and it's like $31, or all right, Prime Day or whatever's coming up, so I'll wait for it to go down. But then like all of a sudden as you get a little closer, the price goes up.
Yeah.
And now Prime Day comes, and now it's back at the original price that you've been waiting all year from. And you're seeing that like everywhere with certain items. And you still get to some people who are actually giving you deals, but it's like the price slowly goes up, and then Prime Day or even Cyber Monday comes, and now you're actually not really spending. What's the difference between what you would have spent on waiting all year, or if you just would have bought it when the price was at a price where you're like, oh, this is reasonable, but I'll wait because the lightning deals are coming up next week. But then again, you see the price go up, and now it's saying like, oh, $20 off. I was like, no, you raised the $20 prior. But Amazon, I'm disappointed in you, man. You take the very few shows I do watch on there, take forever for another season to come out.
Yep.
And then, like I love Vox Machina, great show. If you've never seen it, it's an animated one with like the Dungeons and Dragons characters in it. I think Dungeons and Dragons. People don't kill me if I'm wrong. And then, Invincible, they do have some really good shows, The Boys. But, it's just annoying that now you figure I'm already paying all this.
I feel like Amazon should, because it's all linked to your Amazon account anyway.
Yeah.
They should look at it. Maybe there should be tiers. Like if you spent this much throughout the year,
Yeah.
agree.
you qualify for the no ads, and then
Well,
if
if
you
you have
don't,
Prime or something
right?
like that, yeah.
There should be
That's
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. So I think we should just do our lightning round for brown paper bags. I'm just going to
Okay.
ramble these off. I'm giving the brown paper bag to Joker 2.
Yep, that was on my list as well.
Listen to our review of that. I just said Hollywood in general with the sequels, and I just felt in our 2024 wrap-up review, I didn't even know what's going to win. Wiki's going to win Best Picture, but other than that, I can't even name another big movie that was that deserves that kind of praise. I said ticket prices to see concerts.
Oh, out of control.
Out of control, ridiculous, hidden fees, convenience fees, awful, and a big brown paper bag, maybe those big shopping bag size, is sports. I feel like sports today are just unwatchable, or they have their moments, don't get me wrong, but like they are just not the same, especially since COVID. Something is, and I love sports, I love competition. There's something that is off. It's not just one thing, but I don't know how you fix it, but something is off. It's off.
Yeah.
They're not fun to watch. You can't even watch them. They're all different. They're not on certain sports channels anymore. You have to have a subscription. I don't even know. But anyway, they're unwatchable. They're boring. I really find basketball's unwatchable now. Baseball, they did a little bit better with the pitch clock, but that's bad.
Yeah.
But anyway, regardless.
Did you
sports
see
are
Optimum
awful.
got rid of MSG Network? So
Yes,
now you can't watch
the Knicks.
You can't watch the
games.
Knicks. You
Yep.
can't watch the Islanders. You can't watch the
nothing like
Rangers.
that. Yep.
You can't watch the Devils. And somehow I heard this is going to impact watching the Mets.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
Because I think they're a part of whatever that thing is. Yeah.
I don't think they're on MSG, but I think the same package or whatever, and it's owned by the same
Yes.
people. So I heard you're not going to be able to watch all the Mets games.
But that's what I'm saying.
What are we doing?
It makes you turned off to even watching it.
Yeah.
It's like, this is not going to, then you can just watch the highlights on your reel. It's going to be on
Yeah,
YouTube. You can watch
exactly.
the
And some of
reel.
these
That's it.
packages aren't cheap either. It's like pay $100 to watch all for the one season. It's like no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It's just like-
pay
it's
for
just-
I pay for NFL Red Band, not Red Band, Red Zone.
Yeah.
And because I like to watch the.
Yeah.
I don't want to pay for the full thing to watch every one of these games. But with Red Zone, at least I get to watch the touchdowns and the cool plays
Yeah,
and
of
stuff
course.
like that. So I pay for that, and it's not cheap. You gotta cancel it after the season because they'll bill you during the off season, but there's no games to watch. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I agree. The sports are just not as fun to watch anymore. I don't know if it's because my teams suck all the time and I'm just never invested anymore, or
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I agree.
PJ, any for your lightning round?
I only have one big one left.
Oh, okay.
So, this is the only thing I have left. I'm calling it the Ding Dong Ditch Brown Paper Bag Filled with Dog Shit Award. And this is
Oh my
going
God.
to Diamond Comics Distributors. So there is... Here's the story, folks. When you own a comic book store, you have to buy comics and toys from distributors who then send you the stuff and then you sell it, right? Diamond Comics, for the longest time, has been the biggest distributor in comics. There used to be many distributors, and then Diamond sort of just won out, and there was only them. So you get your toys from them. A lot of your toys are coming from them. A lot of your independent comic books are coming from them. I was getting my Marvel comics from them, even though there were other distributors. I was trying to have less distributors, to have less bills and less people to deal with, less contracts and whatnot. But they decided right before the holidays to close their warehouse. And from late October through present day, they still are not 100% back on track. And so I have nothing to sell if the distributor who gives me the products doesn't sell me these things. And they do not give a single shit. They don't care. I've called them. Other comic book stores have called them. There have been articles published online about this. If you're in a comic book store, there are different, accounts on social media you may follow. And you'll see just article after article about how this company is fucking over comic book stores. there's a possibility that like comic book stores are going to go out of business because of this issue. I won't. I'm okay, but other stores I know of are like, we can't recover from this. Yeah. And for a minute, I thought maybe we couldn't recover. We bounced back. We were good, but yeah, other stores are like even more spot than I am with this shit. And fuck them for not caring. Like, don't close down your warehouse right before the busiest shopping period of the season. Dumb. So dumb. It just shows they're too big to care. Like, you know, if you cater to a toy store right before the holidays, that's when the toy store is supposed to make the most amount of money. And just the people you talk to there, the management over there, it's done so poorly. And this is a tough industry as it is selling comic books. There's only so many people who are into comic books and into this sort of genre of pop culture. And if you make it hard to be successful, I mean, we're not Target, right? Everyone has to go to Target. Everyone has to food shop, so they're going to go to a supermarket. You know, everyone needs clothes. They're going to a clothing store. Nobody needs a comic book. Nobody needs a toy. So if you make it hard for people to get things that are just a want and not a necessity, it's hard to be successful, and that's what this distributor has done. I have moved on to other distributors to give these people less of my money and rely on them less, but they fucking suck, and I hate them to hell and back. I hate them. So they get my Ding Dong Ditch brown paper bag filled with dog shit award.
And Alice, that was great. Alice, take us home.
All right.
You gotta follow that, Alex.
I have mine were just small ones.
That's fine. Yeah, lightning round.
I was agreeing with you with the lack of originality in movies that you see every day. And even though there were sequels and stuff that I do enjoy, you do miss seeing those. That's why I was so happy when Wild Robot did so well, and it was like an original. Wasn't a sequel like Inside Out or anything. Which, don't get me wrong, Inside Out was good, but you know, it's hard to go into a movie, and at least like the only original ones you're seeing are these horror movies. Again, that's the biggest thing that's making movies money right now. My girlfriend also wanted to make note of Jenna Ortega, the brown paper bag. We saw Beetlejuice, and she made it very vocal that every movie that she sees her in, she's playing the daughter of a bratty daughter. And she's, you know, and
I just see her as Wednesday.
Again, she's a bratty daughter, and you know, admittedly, that's like the character of Wednesday. She's very whatever, but she's so to the point where she associates Jenna Ortega as just being a brat. So she, you know, I was talking to her, it's like, no, she was in, and like, you know, you stop for a second, like, yeah, she was a bratty daughter. She was a bratty daughter, So
that's the character she can play.
I just wrote it over here. The Tyson Jake Paul fight. I mean, what a giant brown paper bag full of dog poop that was.
There was some great memes for that too.
Yeah. What a joke of a fight that was. Good for them.
Gold lunchbox for his ass though.
Yeah.
Gold lunchbox for Tyson's ass. Brown paper bag for everything else associated with that.
I mean,
that's a good pick.
Yeah.
Good for them for banking on that one because they made a ton of money. But if that wasn't the most like fake fight I've ever seen in my life,
that was a good one. That's a great pick.
That is, I didn't even think of that.
That's a good one. Yeah.
And then one fun one I'm going to throw in there because I think they're ridiculous are Cybertrucks. I just think, what is going on? They're not even real trucks. They are known to be awful in the snow or any other bad weather other than just beautiful weather. Teslas are known to be like the new Jaguars because like they're great looking cars, which don't get me wrong, I don't hate Teslas, but like they're one of the top cars not to make 100,000 miles. They are expensive. They are like, they don't do well. And Cybertrucks, it takes it a step above that because there's nothing really other than the size. I mean, the design alone was just, won't even get into that. But the fact that they don't actually like do stuff that trucks are supposed to do. They can't really tow. They can't, it can't go off road because to make up for the lack of ability to do things, it eats up the battery. So now you're stuck in the snow or something for 5 minutes, and now the battery's dead.
They look like they came from like N64. They're just very blocky.
They're actually not allowed to be sold in Britain. They're considered unsafe.
Yeah.
Britain has different safety laws there because where the battery is situated, it's not like center of gravity and all that stuff. So, that's a great pick too. I think
it's a great meme you see now because now the Cybertrucks keep getting stuck. So now the real trucks are coming in and pulling them out.
Right.
And also, I don't know if you read like people like losing their hands and fingers and shit because the
door thing.
door like
Yeah.
shuts on them and like there's no like safety thing there. Yeah.
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 Don't worry, that guy's helping to run our country now.
Right. Yeah. Oh boy. But anyway, guys, fantastic Golden Lunchbox Awards and brown paper bags. Folks at home, comment on our videos, on our reels. Let us know what you would give awards to. Anything else, PJ, before we wrap up?
No, I think we've covered it all.
Yeah.
You know, would have been nice to have Marco here, but he didn't want to show up today. He didn't want to show up to his...
Yeah, thanks for not showing up, Marco, and disappointing us once
we
again.
know you're going to hear this when you listen, and we just want you to know we're disappointed in you. We're not mad. We're disappointed.
Yep. Might be worse. We have a lot coming up, folks. More interviews, more guests. We have our 100th episode coming up soon.
We're on the road to 100.
Yep, which
Nice.
is really exciting. And thanks again, Alex, for coming on.
Thanks again for having me.
You know the deal. Same time, same table.
Have a good one.
Boys and girls, lunchtime is over. For more information, visit their website at coolkidslunchtable.podbean.com. Follow the boys on all social media platforms. Just search Cool Kids Lunch Table Podcast. Now get to class before you get detention.